So there was a point in my life where I was so overwhelmed with stress, anxiety, fear, just all the negative, and I was trying to live a life trying to please others, and I was just so lost. I had no idea who I was, um, what really my place was in this life, and I was just a wreck. um, I then started seeking God and what my point is in this life, what He wants me to do in this life. And so I started seeking Him, and um, I just I just let Him guide me. I just let Him guide me because I just had no idea. I had to just give everything to Him and just let Him lead me because I didn't know. I was at a breaking point that I just I felt very um just displaced, I guess you could say. I was very displaced. I didn't see my worth. Um I had been told that I was worthless, and coming out of an abusive relationship or abusive marriage, it was hard, and I had to get past that. And during my journey, I decided to write a book, and the book is called Becoming. And when I wrote this book and I had the book made, I didn't put it out on like Barnes and Noble or anything like that. It was more, I should have, because I think it's something good for people to read. And I think maybe it would help people. But I just tested it out by keeping it kind of small and giving it to like family and friends to read. And when I did this, it also included a journal with the book. And because I think it's very important that when you're going through a journey that you do journal, because that helps to get a lot out. And one of the things in my book, and I want to read this, and some of you may have read this poem, but it is called Becoming, and which is kind of cool because that is what my book is called as well, Becoming, because I was learning to become the real me, because I didn't know who that real person was. I had no idea because I just spent my whole life just being something to other people. I was just focused on just making sure other people were happy. I didn't, I basically just ignored my own happiness to make sure other people were happy. So, that just definitely took a toll on me, and I hit rock bottom, and it was devastating, and I had to climb my way back up, and that's when God helped pull me through that. And so I'm going to read the poem, and this poem is written by John Rodell, and it's called Becoming. It says, so it's a conversation between like me and God, or you and God. So it says, "Hey God." God says, "Hello. I'm falling apart. Can you put me back together?" God says, "I'd rather not." "Why?" "Because you are on a puzzle." "What about all the pieces of my life that are falling down onto the ground?" God says, "Let them stay there for a while. They fell off for a reason. Take some time and decide if you need any of those pieces back." And me says, "You don't understand. I'm breaking down." God says, "No, you don't understand. You are breaking through. What you are feeling are just growing pains. You are shedding the things and the people in your life that are holding you back. You aren't falling apart. You are falling into place. Relax. Take some deep breaths and allow those things you don't need anymore to fall off you. Quit holding onto pieces that don't fit you anymore. Let them fall off. Let them go. And then me says, once I start doing that, what will be left of me? God says, only the very best pieces of you. And me says, I'm scared of changing. God says, I keep telling you, you aren't changing. You are becoming. Becoming who? Becoming who I created you to be, a person of light and love and charity and hope and courage and joy and mercy and grace and compassion. I made you for more than the shallow pieces you have decided to adorn yourself with that you cling to with such greed and fear. Let those things fall off of you. I love you. Don't change. Become. Become. Become who I made you to be. I'm going to keep telling you this till you remember it. And then me, there's another piece, or there goes another piece. God says, yep, let it be. So I'm not broken. God says, of course not. But you are breaking like the dawn. It's a new day. Become. So I hope this does help others who are trying to find their place, who feel lost, who are deeply hurting and feel like they are falling apart. Because I'm not the only one. I know there's a lot of people who are in that place, and they're just, they hit rock bottom and they don't know how to get out of it. Some realize, that they need a change, but, it's natural for us as humans to be afraid of change because it's an unexpected. But when God is working on you to change, it's only going to be for the better. As long as you just, let it go, give it to God, and let Him take control of your situation in your life. Because it is when we try to control our own lives is where, sometimes we get ourselves in a mess. So we have to give it to God and let Him, turn us into what He wants us to be. So, look to God, seek God, get into the Bible, and He will work through you. Like I said, I was at rock bottom. I could see no worth in me whatsoever. So I just solely just gave everything to Him and let Him work through me. And I do not regret it, because even though it's been a long journey, but now I can look back and see how much He literally has worked in my life to change things in my life. So I encourage anybody to do that, to let Him work on you. I can't really describe how that happens. It seems so gradual, but it seems so fast at the same time. And sometimes I feel like I haven't changed that much, but at the same time, I've changed drastically. And it's weird how it happens, because even though, it's been, well, about 6 years now. So, there's been a lot of changes, and it just seems so gradual. So it wasn't any forced changes, but He works in you, on your heart. And so it's not just this outward appearance. He changes you from the inside, and you are just slowly going through this change. And it's almost like you're this flower that starts out, you're buried, and little changes at a time, and you sprout out, and you turn into this beautiful thing that God created. So don't give up. Let yourself become who God wanted you to be. Don't worry about what others say, what others expect from you, what others want from you because they think you should do this or that, or you should act this way or that way. Let God decide who that person is, not somebody else. Because if you're doing that, then it's the other person who is controlling your life. So we are to just give everything to God and let Him direct our paths. So I hope this helped you, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.